Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another photo editing tutorial. In today's video we are going to be checking out one of the gods of Instagram, one of the creative geniuses, one of the leaders of creativity on Instagram. And what I mean by that is Mr. Brandon Woefel. There are quite a few YouTube tutorials on him already, but today I'm going to be doing an editing tutorial on how to edit like Brandon Woefel in 2 minutes. Start the clock. So getting straight into it, I'm starting out with this picture I took of my girlfriend Quinn in Times Square in New York City. I just want to mention as well that the lights you see in the foreground are not added in post-production. I used a prism to reflect the light onto the lens. So getting onto the editing, I'm going to start by bringing the temperature of this picture right down, making it a bit cooler. I'm then going to bring the highlights all the way down and bring the shadows all the way up. I do this because Brandon Woefel edits these photos in a very flat manner, retaining the detail in the highlights as well as the shadows. To compensate for this, I'm going to bring the whites up to about 25 and bring the blacks all the way down. Moving on to the tone curve, one of the most crucial parts to the look and feel of these images. I'm going to start by dropping 2 points on the line. Next, I'm going to bring up the shadows ever so slightly and bring up this tail end to give it some fade in the shadows. Following that, I'm going to drop this top end to fade the highlights as well. Up next, we're going to move on to the HSL, and I'm going to start off by bringing the reds into the pinkish side, bringing it all the way to about -70. Then followed by the oranges, and lastly bringing the purples and magentas all the way to the left as well. So as you can see, the colors are quite saturated, so I'm going to fix this in the saturation tab right now. I'm going to start by bringing the reds down to about -40, and I'm also going to bring the blues down to about -50. I do think, however, I'm going to bring the aqua up just a bit. Moving on to the luminance, I'm going to brighten up the reds just a bit, as well as bringing the oranges into that 20 range. Lastly, I'm going to brighten up the blues as well by bringing them up to about +50. Next, I'm going to jump over to the camera calibration. I'm going to start by shifting the blue hue all the way to the left to about -45 to get those nice teal tones in the image. I'm slightly going to compensate for this by bringing the red hues up just a bit. Finally, to top it all off and make this image pop, I'm going to add a blue split tone to the highlights and an even darker blue to the shadows. Just one last thing, I'm going to use an adjustment brush to add some effects to the eyes. So all I'm going to do is paint over the iris and then bring up the exposure, the clarity, and the saturation. We can see that it's a really small thing, but it makes quite a big difference to the final image. And there we have it. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. Please go check out Brandon Woefel. His link will be in the description. Massive shout out to him. He is a big inspiration for creativity and Instagram and photographers in general. So big shout out to him. If you did like this video, please leave a like. If you're new around here, hit the subscribe button. And in the meantime, stay weird, don't die, and make it happen. I'll see you guys in the next one.